Hi Aries, here is a general look at your solar chart for February 2016, and the sun's in a really good angle to your sun sign at the moment, and there's some good aspects, some interesting aspects and some good aspects. So until the 19th, the solar energy is in a very progressive mood. It wants to move forwards, and there could be themes around things that you've been wanting to do for ages, and now you're beginning to get that green light flashing up. So networking, group connections, technology, they could be emphasized. Friendships could be emphasized. People who have got who've got things in common, who are like-minded, that sort of thing could be coming up. But in general, as I say, it could be online or it could be in your locality. But in general, a theme is that the ball is moving forwards. Mercury and Venus are in an area to do with image, worldly goals, maybe professional targets, could be, or it could be maybe about bureaucracy or those who can facilitate you and your aims, or you as the one who is the authority who can facilitate somebody's aims. It might be like that. Whatever it is like, there will be more talking, maybe, or paperwork with people connected with authority or officials, or you've just got to be talking more with people who are coming to you or consulting with you. Venus is there, and whenever Venus goes along with Mercury, then even though there's a lot of bouncing around of ideas, maybe, or paperwork, or just, you know, connecting with the people, the sorts of people related to the area that Mercury is in, it tends to oil the wheels if Venus is there. So you could find that somebody's very much kind of facilitating you and is on your side, seeing you in a good light, somebody who's in the position to kind of tick the box or not. It could be like that. It could also be you, as I said before, that's seen to be there to give somebody else a sort of a helping hand up the ladder. So whatever it's about. Anyway, that's until the 14th for Mercury and the 17th for Venus, and then they move. Mercury moves into the next sector, which is where the Sun is, and so does Venus on the 17th. So they're all in there together. This very progressive emphasis coming particularly from just after mid-month, with all three of them in there. But not for long, because the Sun moves out on the 19th, leaving Venus and Mercury behind, still putting up quite a lot of pedal down on the progressive side of things, but also friendships, groups, that type of thing, and social kind of gatherings. This is this sort of feel of it in your location, or it could be online. It's very good for this one is very good for feeling the support coming from people maybe you don't even know, and this is others who have got an interest in common, who are interested in what you're doing. And it can be quite technological, or maybe it's not like that. Maybe it's just something that's unconventional and unfamiliar to you. It's got a sort of an edge to it. It's like, whoa, I've never been here before, sort of thing. Let's see what happens. So it's got an experimental feel to it too. Now, your ruling planet is doing something very interesting, and wherever Mars is, then it's impacting an area in somewhere. So Mars at the moment is in Scorpio, and has been in there since early January, and will be there until early March. So that's an unusual thing for Mars to be doing, staying in one sign all that time. Then Mars comes out of there into Sagittarius and goes back into Scorpio in late May. And between January and September, that's the only thing Mars is doing, is just going between Scorpio and Sagittarius, back again to Scorpio, and then across to Sagittarius until it finally ends the transit in September. And so this is going to put a very long emphasis on just two little segments of your sun sign chart. So Mars, when it's in Scorpio, is in an area to do with more introspective area, really, for you as an outgoing sign. But it's you getting to the bottom line on something and realizing that you've got to maybe let go of something. And then there's a breakthrough. And then there's a kind of, after this declutter goes on, and you might have a little series of declutters, inwardly, outwardly, to do with people around, to do with the job, to do with the place, to do with whatever it's to do with, and have a rethink. Maybe it's a detox or like a spring clean. Whatever it is, there is a shift. This is the house of transition for you, Arians. And you will have to tread carefully at times. You will have to zip the lip at times, because you can't just put it all out kind of in the way that maybe you'd like to in one big sort of rush. It might be about like that. But anyway, it could be a time of settling debts now. It might be something coming to you as well, but it might be about settling debts. It could be about a legacy. It could be about a number of things. It could be about a contract or an agreement. So anyway, you're looking for a win-win solution, but you're also just listening. You're reading between the lines. You're listening to your gut instinct about which is the best way to go. And and then when Mars goes into Sagittarius, it's very, very different. It's more up your street, really. But that's not until March. Saturn is in a 2-year transit of Sagittarius. Now this puts Saturn, who has got maybe a notorious reputation, in a very good angle to your sun sign. I mean, Saturn loves to build. Saturn loves to put her boundaries down and have her rules and regulations, but build new stuff. So this is beneficial to you, Arians, and this is a cycle of you getting educated, of you getting informed, of you gaining insights through a field of interest or through a project or through an activity or something that you're very into and you're learning an awful lot from. It might be through travel, it might be through, God, a leisure pursuit, it might be through pleasant things, but there will be some element of limitation to it, some element of having to turn up, be there for schedules, be there for deadlines, and abide by the rules, because it's Saturn. But you will be developing a new understanding slowly, like kind of, I don't know, a colour bleeding out into a fabric. And you've got to be steady and patient. And Saturn will put the shape around that bleeding colour. And then, hey presto, you've got a flower, or, a rearing horse, or a solar system, whatever. But it's the shape. So it bleeds out and then hits the boundaries of that shape. It's a bit like silk painting when you put gutter down, which is a kind of rubber solution. So, and then you drop the color in on the silk, on the white silk, and then it just bleeds out and then hits the rubber, and then that's where it stops. And then you've got your beautiful shape there, whatever you wanted it to be. And you're just learning slowly, drip, 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 like on a stone, wearing out the shape in the stone. And you Arians born the 2nd to the 6th of April, or with 13 to 17 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most. Ooh, the sun's come out there. And that's nice. It's warmer. And Uranus is in your sign. And there's a lot about Uranus in the first house. Look it up. Uranus is in your sign anyway, and that's going to be bringing huge amounts of change, and has done. If you're an earlier Arian, you will know how much change that brought. And as Uranus goes further and further away from where your sun was, we're not even mentioning any other planets that you might have in Aries, then you will be able to consolidate, and it will get more and more settled. But it still will be in your sign. So your sign is subject to change and readjustment, and you're having to be very much on your toes at times, because you don't know what's coming next. That is a sort of thing that you might say to yourself, what's going to happen next? You know, wasn't expecting that. So you Arians born the 5th to the 8th of April, or with 16 to 19 degrees rising, going to feel that at the moment. And mostly, at the moment. If you bring that spirit of change and innovation and unpredictability and unorthodoxy into your life voluntarily, then you will meet some of the criteria of Uranus, and maybe, just maybe, you won't have the rug pulled out from under you, which is to test your strength, which is to keep you strong. I mean, you know, there's such a lot behind this, but it can feel very destabilizing in the short term, and in the long term we realize what went on and why we had to go through that. And then Pluto is coming at your sign from Capricorn, and that will be in the area of career, in the area of what, you know, how others see you in the world. And again, it's tearing things down there, and then it's rebuilding, because there is always, you know, there's always got to be this renewal, this healing that comes from either of them. I mean, you know, what did somebody say? It was like one of these ball wreckers, Pluto, but Pluto is sneakier than Uranus. It's more internal. It works on the emotional body as well. It makes you understand more what you need to be doing and known for in the world. And sometimes what you've been used to doing and what you come to realize that you should be doing are two very different things. It depends on how far away you got from that. So yeah, it can be a real wake-up call. And you Arians born the 4th to the 7th of April, or with 15 to 18 degrees rising, are going to feel this energy the most this forecast period. We have a wonderful transit going on. It's not all about Uranus, Pluto, you know. There's other great things. And there are huge benefits with Uranus, Pluto as well. But they come further down the line. You know, you don't see them immediately. We've got very short-term sort of little brains, but memories. But this one is a good one. It's the Saturn and Uranus one. So you've got Saturn saying, okay, whatever you're getting into, which is an aspiration or a cherished dream or something which is unusual and new, maybe a bit sort of edgy, maybe it's something conventional for yourself. Keep plugging away at it now. Maybe it's new types of friends, maybe it's a new group, or maybe it's a group which is not new, but that you're going further with it perhaps. Keep on keeping on with it, being consistent, because this is the time that you really will be able to achieve success with this, and it can really pay off. So there we are. And now, did I say the sun? Yeah, the sun is going to move on the 19th. So they're all three of them in there together, and the sun moves out of there and goes into quite a background area where you're feeling a bit more sensitive and you want to be a little bit more connecting to that sort of energy which is a power beyond you, really. However, you've left Mercury and Venus in a very gregarious mood, so there will be a kind of a mixture. You know, maybe you will be leaving the party a bit earlier, or maybe not, but maybe whilst you're at the party, this is more like it, maybe whilst you're at the party, you are just that little bit kind of, not detached, but more aware of your inner workings and your inner feelings. It's the time for healing, it's the time for being a support to others, and it's the time for letting others being a support to you as well. Now, Jupiter is in your area of health and work until next September, and that will mean there's no shortage of opportunities for you to learn and grow through those areas there, whether it's your health or somebody else's health, whether it's whether it's work that you've chosen, which it should be, hopefully, given where Pluto is. More and more now, the sorts of work, even if you could take a pay cut, the sort of work that you want to do. And yes, you will get the chance to experience things where you learn and you say, okay, that's interesting, but it's not for me. But I'm going to try this, and yeah, that really is for me. So, you know, you need to separate the wheat from the chaff. You Arians born the 7th to the 12th are with 18 to 23 degrees rising and feel that energy the most. And then just to mention Mercury and Venus going over Pluto, there could be some insight there, or there could be some need to be sensitive and be a bit secretive, or there could be some need for somebody putting their cards on the table perhaps, or you getting kind of the inside story on something but then not letting on to in certain places. Whatever it is, it gets you thinking more deeply and more strategically perhaps. And that's it for February. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those. And also this is written up on DianaGarland.com if you want to check up on anything. I put another couple of videos out. One's called the Astrological Overview of 2016 and the other is the Overview of 2016, which you should find somewhere. And I'll see you the next time.